In this video, we are going to use some clever spill functions to hotlink age debt and forecast payments from your Xero, Quickbooks or Sage accounting package to an Excel sheet to enable you to calculate forecast cash flow. We are going to use our example Xero data, but the other accounting systems are similar. Over to you, Kim.
Yes, thanks, Jim. This is kinda going to follow the third tutorial on our website, but instead of creating this from scratch, I'm going to use one of our Consolidated XL wizards to create the query. Let's click on the Consolidated XL toolbar button and select the Age, Debt and Forecast Payments wizard from the list. The first page explains the wizard, so let's skip that. Next we select the companies to hotlink. See, they are all allocated CXL company codes to identify them in the functions. I'll select all 3 Xero demo companies and press Next. On the final page we can control some of the formatting. I'll go with all current settings. And now I press the Create button. Firstly, Consolidated XL will create a lookup sheet containing the list of CXL company codes we selected. All wizards use this sheet for various hot-linked lookups. And then it created sheet called Age Debt. We can see in the top section we have the 3 example companies we selected. The top row of each is the total aged receivables. The second line is a forecast of receivable payments, based on the contact's average payment days. If no average is available for the contact, the overall company average is used. Xero allows an expected date to be entered for each transaction, so Consolidated XL will override the averages with that date to give a summary of when we expect the money to come into the business.
Oh, I could see that being really useful for cash flow analysis.
Yes. It's showing receivables at present, but we can simply change that to payable. And now we see the amount we owe, and again when we are planning to pay it based on our payment history. I'll put it back to receivable. And below that, we see a list of debtors, or creditors, for each company. We can filter that to show by only those in foreign currency. If we have currency transactions involved, it's valued in base currency, at the current hourly rate. At present we are seeing the age debt in 8, 7-day columns. But we could change that to say 10 days, and 7 columns depending on your own needs. And see how the data changes really fast. This sheet can now be saved and the data will refresh in seconds when reopened, thanks to the CXL Fast database. So you can build a complex cash flow, and perhaps add other factors to your overall calculations. And recalculate within seconds every time you open the sheet. We can also add another 2 columns to show what is almost due in the next 20 days.
Wow, that's crazy. And can I see the detail which makes up the debts?
Oh yes. If I click the 60 days debt, and then Trans menu, we can see the transactions making up the debt.
Nice.
And of course click on them to see the detail. Also showing any part payments. And of course we can do that in the debtors list below. See the list change?
Smart.
Yes, but it would be great to see that visually, so let's go to charts. Now we see, at the top, the age debt, followed by the forecast payments in a column chart.
Interesting. You can see how the payments lag behind the due days graphically.
And clicking on the columns, in the chart, will show the transactions which make up the figures in the column, under the Trans tab we just saw.
Oh, that's good.
And for the overall company, if I click on the summary line.
Oh yes, the icing on the cake, as it were.
Plus in the Options menu we can copy all transactions shown or the graph.
So how do these functions work?
Well, this sheet just contains 4 formula. 3 for the summaries and 1 for the debtor list. If I click on D7 we can see the formula. First required parameter defines the company to get the data for. The following parameters are optional. Next the type, which is receivable or payable. Followed by age by days, 10 in this case. And then number of columns to 7. Followed by options, in this case it's set to committed. We will change this value in a moment to see the result. And finally the number of pre-periods, which I set to 2.
And so what do options do?
Most CXL functions have an options parameter, allowing so many options. Let's press the function button, and if we click on the help option we can go to the website which details all these options. In the case of Xero Data, which has the notion of draft invoices, and invoices waiting for approval. If we set the option to all, it shows the figures waiting to be committed to the ledgers.
So you can get a feel for the possible commitment. Nice.
And finally the same for payable figures.
Consolidated XL is a kind of secret wand for financial wizardry. That's been great, and thanks for watching. See the video description for more information.